The life and sad ending of Scotty Beckett. Scotty Beckett, born Scott Hastings Beckett, was born on October 4th, 1929, in Oakland, California. He and his family moved to Los Angeles when Beckett was 3 years old. Shortly after arriving in LA, Beckett's father was hospitalized, and Beckett would frequently entertain his dad by singing songs. During one such visit, a Hollywood casting director happened to notice the cherubic youngster and told his parents he had movie potential. Beckett made his debut in Gallant Lady, 1933, starring Clive Brook and Anne Harding. Beckett played a boy of 3 in the film, and Dickie Moore played the same character at the age of 6. It was the first of several connections between the two child stars. The next year, he filled the hole vacated by Moore in Our Gang. Beckett appeared as a regular in the Our Gang Short Subjects series from 1934 to 1935. In it, he played George Spanky McFarlane's best friend and partner in mischief. His trademark look was a crooked baseball cap and an oversized sweater exposing one shoulder. His role was taken over by Carl Alfalfa Switzer in 1935, and he left the series for features after that year. In 1939, he returned briefly as Alfalfa's cousin, Wilbur, in Cousin Wilbur and Dog Days. After his Our Gang days were over, Beckett won increasingly prominent roles in major Hollywood films, usually playing the star's son or the hero as a boy. Among his major credits are Dante's Inferno with Spencer Tracy, Anthony Adverse with Freddie March, The Change of the Light Brigade with Errol Flynn, Conquest with Greta Garbo, Marie Antoinette with Norma Shearer, Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, in which he played John Hall's character as a child, and King's Row, in which he played Robert Cummings' character as a child. In 1940, he played Tim in My Favorite Wife, starring Cary Grant and Irene Dunne. He appeared as one of the unborn children in Shirley Temple's The Bluebird, 1940. He also had a central role in the wartime propaganda film The Boy from Stalingrad, 1943. Beckett attended Los Angeles High School and took time off from filming to try his luck on the stage. Adolescence didn't seem to hamper his career, as he won such important roles as that of young Al Jolson in The Jolson Story, with his singing voice provided by Rudy Weisler, and Junior in the long-running radio show The Life of Riley. His performance as Jolson was described as touching, enchanting, and to all indications accurate. In 1947, he appeared alongside Dickie Moore and Marilyn Monroe in Dangerous Years. Beckett was signed by MGM in 1947, with his first role under contract as Will Parker in Cynthia. He gained the role of Oogie Pringle in A Date with Judy, the film adaptation of the long-running radio series of the same name, opposite Jane Powell as Judy Foster. In 1949, he was featured in the war drama Battleground, and the following year he starred as the fast-talking Tennessee Shad in the comedy The Happy Years. By 1950, the success of those 3 films resulted in expectations that his career would rise, but it didn't. While other actors his age moved into leading roles, his career declined, as evidenced by his small role in Nancy Goes to Rio, again with Jane Powell. Beckett attended the University of Southern California, but dropped out when the combined workload of school and films became too great. Although he was working steadily at MGM, his life grew increasingly tumultuous in the late 1940s and early 1950s. In 1948, he was arrested on suspicion of drunk driving. In 1954, Beckett's career took an upward turn when he was cast as Winky, the comic sidekick in the popular TV show Rocky Jones, Space Ranger. He was fired from the series after he was arrested on a concealed weapons charge and for passing a bad check. After being fired from Rocky Jones, he made only a few subsequent TV and film appearances, some uncredited bit parts, before leaving show business forever. After more or less giving up on show business, Beckett tried selling real estate, then cars, and twice enrolled at universities with the intention of becoming a medical doctor. He was also arrested several times for drunkenness, drunk driving, drug possession, and passing bad checks. His first arrest for drunk driving came in 1948, followed by a second arrest in March 1959. In February 1957, he was arrested after attempting to cross the Mexican border with 250 stimulant pills. On August 14, 1959, he was arrested for possessing 4 Benzedrine pills. He was released 12 hours after the county prosecutor refused to press charges. 4 days later, he sustained a broken hip and a skull fracture after crashing his car into a tree while driving in West Los Angeles. Lyndon claimed that the accident left him severely disabled and he had to utilize a wheelchair and crutches for the remainder of his life. In 1962, he attempted suicide after a heavy drinking binge. Regarding his personal life, Beckett was married 3 times and had 1 child. He married professional tennis player Beverly Baker on September 28, 1949, in Las Vegas. She was granted a divorce in June 1950. His second marriage was to model and actress Sunny Vickers. They married in 1951 and had 1 son, Scott Jr., before divorcing in 1957. In 1961, he married Margaret C. Sabo. She remained with him until his death. On May 8, 1968, Beckett checked into a Los Angeles nursing home to seek medical attention after suffering a serious beating. Sadly, he was found dead in his room on May 10th. He was 38 years old. A note and pills were found. He either overdosed on barbiturates or alcohol. Beckett is buried at San Fernando Mission Cemetery in Mission Hills, Los Angeles.